Hi guys, Chris here, and you're watching Here We Are Running, and it's the final episode in this year's series of the Ronhill Run Every Day Challenge. Let's get this done. Day 28, and the end really is in sight now, guys. It's Wednesday, and at the moment, this time of the year, you really have to take advantage of the weather when you get the weather. Today, this morning, we've got the weather, we're out on the trails, and we're going to enjoy it before we start work. Day 31, we have made it to the end of the month, guys. We've completed the challenge again this year. And to round things off today, I'm just taking you out on a leisurely half marathon. And we've got quite a lot to cover during this run, so better get started. We're going to look back at the week of training. I'll put the calendar up later. I'm going to reveal how much distance I've run across the course of the month in total, and who guessed the closest to that will be interesting to see, and their name will appear on the screen later. But to kick things off, yesterday evening I had a Zoom call with a guy called Paul Smith, and he, when Ron Hill finally hung up his running boots and ended his running streak after all those years he did it for, Paul Smith took over, I believe I'm right in saying this, took over as the person who has the longest running streak in Britain. So really interesting to catch up with him, and I started the conversation by asking him firstly, when did he start running?
In the 80s, I guess, in early 80s was when it was like the running boom the first time round. Didn't like running at school. Cross country, if I could have got a note off my mum, I would have got a note off my mum. Just didn't like to play football and cricket. But yeah, when we got a job, a few of my colleagues did a bit of running. I went out with them at lunch times. I think my first North Run was 84. First marathon was London Marathon 1984. And I just sort of like been running since then, but the run streak is a little bit more recent. Well, I say recent, it's come up to 14 years now I run every day.
Now, Paul's been running every day since the beginning of January 2007. Can you imagine that, guys? I asked him, what was it that really inspired him to start a running streak?
There's the answer. What made us do it? Ron Hill, Dr. Ron Hill. He's also on my t-shirt as well. Ron is he's so good. His autobiography comes in two parts, part one and part two. As you know, Ron Hill was 3 times Olympian, first Briton to break 2 hours 10 in the marathon, first Boston Marathon winner as well, from Great Britain, and then he became a guru in the sports apparel, mail order. So he was sort of ahead of his time in them. He was doctor in textiles. That was his degree. So he sort of experimented with wicking apparel, sort of, and getting air to the body. So he was ahead of his time, really. When all things gimmicks now is nothing new. Ron was sort of like the forefather of them, but of course he's known for his run streak. And Ron went, started in 1964. I think it was December the 20th, 1964. And he got to 19,032 days, I think it is. 52 year and 39 days, which is absolutely phenomenal. And in them early days, Ron would have been training twice a day, seriously training as well for like the Olympics. There have been some serious miles and some punishing interval sessions and hill sessions. So years now we kept going all that time, and it was sad, but I think age caught up with Ron, and he's in ill health now, which is sad to hear. But I had the fortune of meeting him quite a few times. I used to travel down from Durham down to Lancashire for his birthday 5k every year on September the 25th, and I'd run his 5k. I've ran with him, just got to know him really, and had a pint, and just a really nice, down to earth guy. Yeah, he's just a motivation, inspirational character to me myself. So these 5,052 days that I've ran, it's all Ron's fault, basically. It's all his fault. I'm holding him responsible for it.
Now, during the 5,052 days that he's been running so far, I'm sure he's had some issues with lack of motivation. So I asked him what the hardest part was of keeping a running streak going for nearly 14 years.
Yeah, there are some days when you've had like maybe a busy day at work, family commitments, you haven't been out yet, it's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, it's absolutely hammered down with rain, and you just get out. The worst steps are the first steps. Once you get them first steps done out over the threshold, you're laughing really, you're aware. There's been injuries, but touch wood, nothing major, but twisted ankles where it's ballooned up and black and blue. And yeah, I just hung around for the minimum of 5k or something like that.
And then I asked him how long he planned to keep this running streak going. It was a very simple answer, guys.
Only death will stop us.
Now, every October that I set out and do this October challenge and run every day of the month, there's always some of you that comment that it's inspiring you to do a running streak of your own. So I thought I'd ask Paul what his top tip was for anyone that was looking to start a running streak.
Not to put too much pressure on themselves, really. Just try to keep it interesting and fresh and fun, and not let it become a chore. So I mean, I keep things fresh with mine by juggling a lot of running balls. So I've got my marathons, but I've got like park run. I've got my interval sessions at Crook Athletics Club. But I also do like charity runs as well. So I can, if I get an idea in my mind, like something crazy, sort of, for instance, March the 20th is St Cuthbert's Day. So why not run from York Minster to Durham Cathedral dressed as St Cuthbert, and raise funds for St Cuthbert's Hospice. So that was like, so I get like an idea in my head like that with a theme, and raise money. So that keeps me motivated, and so I've obviously got to train up for that as well. And yeah, it's difficult, but it raises smiles, and it does motivate and inspire people, and it raises cash for charities. So I've done quite a few crazy things like that. On my 3,000th run day, I ran 30 miles around the centre circle of a football pitch, round and round and round and round, dressed as Bobby Moore, number 6 England shirt, blonde wig, jewellery, makeup. And that was for Bobby Moore Bowel Cancer and Sir Bobby Robson Cancer Foundation. So you can see there was a theme there. So I keep it fun, and I do dress up in the odd daft piece of running gear. Well, not running gear, just a bit of fancy dress now and then. Say Bladen Race is one of my favourite runs, so I use that one as just different costume every year for that, and just keep it fresh, really. Not to put too much pressure on. At the end of the day, it is only running, and it's not the Olympic Games for us mere mortals. So if you can just keep it fresh and just get out there and enjoying it is definitely the key factor. And then you just feel good in yourself if you sort of reach your target, like yourself, run every day in October. And there's also this mental aspect of it as well. It's very good for mental health as well as physical health as well, running. So yeah, if anyone hasn't done it, give it a try.
So thanks so much to Paul for sharing a bit of his running streak journey, and good luck to him as he continues that. day after day after day. His socials are up on the screen at the moment in case you want to look him up and get inspired by what he's been doing. Okay, let's put up the calendar so that you can see all the runs I've done for the whole month, but particularly for this week. And as you can see, I have spread those runs as normal between outdoor and indoor. A number of Zwift runs again this week, including one day where I ran outdoors and indoors, so doubled up. And each week we have increased the distance slightly from the week before it. So I've been kind of ramping up the distance, having done that virtual London Marathon right at the beginning of the month, and taking it steady to begin with after that. Each week we've gone up and increased our distance. But I can tell you something, guys, next week is going to be a rest week. I feel my legs have certainly deserved a rest after all of the running that we've been doing in the last few months. So next week, don't expect much running content. But after that, with our legs refreshed, we'll be all set for another challenge. And I'll let you know about that in good time. But also, some of you might have noticed we are approaching upon 3,000 subscribers. And of course, when we reach milestones on this channel, we like to do a little bit of a challenge. So there will be something special coming up for that. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so now. But also, let your running friends, your running clubs and stuff know about the channel, and maybe they'll like the content and will subscribe too. So all that's left to do is reveal the distance that I have run across the course of the month, and it is 280 kilometers. On the screen now what that is in miles. And also got to give someone some on-screen glory who got the closest. So the closest to it, I will check when I get home, but you'll see that now coming up on the screen. So well done to that person for guessing the closest. Guys, I just want to say thanks again for watching this series, supporting me along the way, and if you've enjoyed it, as always, please hit the thumbs up button, do give the video a like. But guys, I'll see you in the next one.